I don't know what's happening.
Me neither. Welcome to our Thursday show, our little newsy type thing that we do. I'm Jeremy.
I'm confused.
And these are extraordinary times. First up today, well, yes, love.
Well, we got a soccer player, Fabrice Muamba, who died for 78 minutes on the field.
Well, no, not all of that 78 minutes was on the field.
But he died on the field, and then stayed dead for 78 minutes, went to the hospital and all of that, and was revived.
In the on-field resuscitation and ambulance resuscitation and finally getting to the hospital.
Continuous CPR throughout all of this. He was shocked, I think, like 15 times, something like that. It was ridiculous. Apparently has no brain trauma or anything from this whole experience, which is amazing considering you go 3 minutes without oxygen, you start losing brain cells. Not only that, a cardiologist that worked at the hospital he went to was at the game and convinced officials to let him help out before the ambulance even got there.
So that might be a reason for it. His name Dr. Andrew Diener. So good on you, Dr. Andrew. Well played, sir. Way to save a life. That's fantastic. And I mean, a 23-year-old soccer player, just boom, heart stop on the field. That's crazy.
Don't let people tell you soccer is an easy sport.
And then we have a story out of Denver where we learn a little bit about ourselves. When you do something illegal, what's the first thing you want to do, AJ?
Not talk about it ever.
Not talk about it ever. That's correct. So, when you do something illegal like skipping jury duty,
very illegal, by the way.
Super illegal. One of the last things you should ever consider doing is talking about it. Talking about it on Facebook or the radio. Apparently, a Denver woman by the name of Susan Cole decided she was going to skip out on jury duty by claiming, quote, "I broke out of domestic violence in the military. I have a lot of repercussions. One is post-traumatic stress disorder." Now, normally, PTSD, big deal. Okay, whatever. Except no doctor ever has diagnosed her with PTSD.
She was faking.
And if you just skip out on jury duty, which I have reassigned my jury duty time to better fit my schedule, so I know how much effort that takes, which is about this much. She just totally lied. And, skipping is one thing. Perjury is a felony, apparently. So she's getting charged because, when you talk about things on talk radio, smart people hear it. Smart people like judges.
Like the judge that interviewed her.
Like the judge that interviewed her. And said, wait a minute, I remember you. Let me go look that up real quick. Felony. Done.
The sad thing being, she could have gotten out of this if she hadn't actually ever mentioned the PTSD. In the interview, whatever. She, the domestic violence really can't be proven ever, and, would have gotten her out of it, but, she just had to claim a medical disorder, which can't be proven.
Yep. Next up.
The reason why I refuse to get a student loan ever.
Boom.
In the United States, the amount of student loans has topped $1 trillion.
For those of you who don't do a lot of math, I don't. I actually did the math. Think about our whole national debt that we currently have. We talked about it an episode or two ago over there. And that is over 15 trillion. Now that's an obnoxious number. But even 1 trillion, I think they did the math on this. If you spent $1 million a day from 0 AD to now, you would not have spent $1 trillion. Spending $1 million a day.
Oh.
So that's a lot of ice, you know. And people wonder why the 1% is so, or the 99% rather, 99% is so angry these days. Well, it's because they owe a lot of money and they can't get jobs.
Like I said, I'm never getting a student loan. Grant. Anyway.
Thanks, Barry. Trying to rescue us. Anyways, moving on further. In Wisconsin, we were going to cover this yesterday, but there was a certain amount of speculation and blah, blah, blah. And now they're actually owning up to there being microquakes in Wisconsin around Milwaukee, Green Bay kind of area. And it's weird because it's not just like little earthquakes. It's giant booms that are disruptive.
Yeah, scaring people out of their minds.
Scaring people, scaring pets. We actually looked up because I occasionally listen to talk radio. One of the shows I occasionally listen to is AM Coast to Coast with George Norrie. That might make me some viewers and might lose me some viewers, but I don't care. But I heard them talking about stuff like this, giant booming noises that people can't explain, because allegedly they basically sound like they're coming from everywhere, and they're not explainable by anything.
Even microquakes, even
microquakes.
At the same time.
Yeah, but the most popular one is actually in Kiev, Ukraine, back in August. Type in Kiev, Ukraine, August, and I guarantee you'll find the thing. Actually, we'll type it in, and I'll have this guy put a little link right where I just pointed, and go check it out. Like it's weird, and there's no real explanation. I mean, you can speculate and think about it, but the important thing is be aware.
We'll find out eventually.
We'll find out what it is at some point, but for now, weird. Be aware of weird things. Yeah.
Speaking of being aware of weird things.
Oh my goodness. This is out of the UK, which, by the way, we love the UK.
I would love to visit someday. However, after this, I will never live there. So,
or at least raise children there.
Yeah. In their equivalent of kindergarten, what they call primary school, teachers are evidently encouraging students to not have best friends.
Why is that, AJ?
And that's the worst part. Is because they might get hurt if they ever break up as friends.
So what we're saying is they don't want kids to make interpersonal relationships because they might lose them.
The whole point of going through that is that you might lose them, but then you learn how to cope with that. You learn how to cope with life. Bad things happen. People do bad things to you.
No, they don't, AJ.
Oh no.
People don't ever do bad things to me. Not ever, never.
I should be running.
Right.
Anyway.
Right.
So this has just gotten completely out of control. And the sad thing is, it's being backed up by a psychologist. He's like, yeah, this is the right thing to do. No!
No.
No!
Absolutely not.
Oh,
in case you don't know, it's healthy to experience emotions and pain and, stubbing your toe and slamming your finger in a car door and all that stuff. Maybe that happened today. But
I've been through this. I had a best friend in kindergarten that, it turns out, wasn't exactly the best of friends. I overheard him at one point saying that he didn't want to walk home with me because he didn't want to be seen with me. That kind of ended our best friendship right there. But because of that, I met my best friend that I've had since 3rd grade, Keith, who is awesome.
Keith, You're awesome.
I mean,
I can vouch for that.
Literally, if it wasn't for me breaking up with best friends with Sam, I would have never met my current best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, bad things happen. Like, anyway, tied into that a little bit. Thanks, Keith, here actually mentioning this to us. There's a documentary out there called Bully that has been rated R, and people are saying, please reduce the ratings so that we can show this in schools.
And not just people. Now, you know, I discount a lot of what a lot of Hollywood actors and people say. Pop culture annoys me to a great extent, but like I respect Johnny Depp. I respect Drew Brees. As much as I can respect Meryl Streep, I respect Meryl Streep. Like and you know, big names are getting behind, you know, this film, and they've seen it and they say this is important for people to see.
Reduce it down to PG-13. This is the way to take care of these kinds of problems. Okay? Attack the problem itself, not try and prevent it from happening by getting rid of good things.
Yeah. So, by the way, Bully documentary, not sponsored. Gonna try and see it. Maybe you should too. Moving on to our last story of today. We're going to do our best to not rant about this because it is. First off, it is an opinion piece, and we're going to link you to it wherever the link is, right up there, you know, or down there. Check it out. It's a blog on Scientific American about you know, staving off climate change. Now, you know, we make fun of climate change and things like that because AJ and I have a very strong belief that it is not man-made, but it is happening. And the thing about it not being man-made is that we can also not do anything about it. At least not to the extent that people claim we can. Because, honestly, truly, we are not that awesome. Like, we are bound by the earth. We have certain restrictions as to what we can do to it, both affecting it negatively and affecting it positively. Or at least positively for us. Right. So, when a opinion writer for Scientific American says, effective world government will be needed to stave off global climate catastrophe.
What?
It annoys us greatly.
World government, as in New World Order, as in take over the world.
You know, I make fun of AJ for being a conspiracy nut, as I used to be.
Look at it. Look at the article.
It's big. This is legit. And this is wrong. The phrase that really, really got me is in the last paragraph. It says, if we are ever to cope with climate change in any fundamental way, radical solutions on the social side are where we must focus.
What?
No. Absolutely not.
Stop. No. Not going to happen. And if it does happen,
one of the great things about our world as it is the diversity of opinion, of culture, of people, and to take all that diversity and try and contain it in one government is wrong.
Too much power.
It's too much power consolidated. I mean, it's happened with everybody who has ever tried ruling the whole earth. Any mortal person is incapable of wielding that much power. Even, you know, mortal, small oligarchy, incapable, absolutely incapable of doing it. So, raise hell about this. I'm just going to be honest. Go comment on it on Scientific American. Go, you know, I don't know, talk to people.
So, hey, look,
raise awareness. This is wrong.
If we're having a hard time governing our own country, who thinks that they can actually govern the entire world besides me?
There's a child being swung around in the background, which signifies the end of our show. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Keep sticking with us. We will see you tomorrow. I'm Jeremy.
I'm AJ.
And these are extraordinary times. Be aware.